Coming up tonight on KSL Outdoors.
We follow a family as they are pushed to their limits in the sport of canyoneering.
Focus on keeping those feet flat on the wall. Excellent work.
I didn't think we'd signed up for all of this.
We're on belay in some of the most scenic backcountry in Utah. I'm Adam Eakle. All that and more next.
KSL Outdoors with Adam Eakle is brought to you by your local Ford stores.
Tonight, we travel down to southern Utah, just outside of Zion National Park, which has long been the center of canyoneering in the USA. We are headed into the remote Water Canyon. Where are we going?
We're gonna hike probably just a little under a mile up this way, up this canyon. We're gonna drop into the middle part of the canyon. That's where we're gonna meet up with the family.
Oh, cool.
And they're doing probably around 6-7 rappels today.
Oh, fun.
And should get a little wet, but not too wet. Hopefully we'll warm up here.
Meet Dean Woods. Dean has been climbing all around southern Utah for decades, and in 2002, he decided to turn his passion into a business. That's when he and his wife created Zion Rock and Mountain Guides.
It's amazing how many people get from the East Coast and never been out west, and they're just so taken back by the landscape of southern Utah. You know, that's really one of the fun sides, is just getting to show them all these areas. Yeah, where we go, the average tourist doesn't go. So, you know, the people that do book trips that come to Zion, usually they'll come here for a week or two, but they want to do 1 or 2 days of unique things other than just in the park. And so they get to, you know, see some pretty amazing places. I know people that have never been to Zions that lived in St. George or never get out to this area, so that's pretty amazing. This is why it gets its name, Water Canyon. Valley's got water flowing on this lower section.
Dean's team of guides will take people all over southern Utah. They guide day hikes in the park and take extreme adventurers outside the park on technical canyoneering and climbing treks. A lot of people venture out without a guide, but Dean says his guides are there to help and to educate.
The funnest part is meeting people, getting out, knowing their lives, and, you know, and giving people those experiences that, you know, to some degree become life-changing for them.
And today, we're meeting up with the Singh family from Boston.
This is my daughter's 16th birthday present, and she's the one who's organized everything. So this was an adventure for Dad and Mom, I think. So she set us up to it.
And what do you think so far?
Oh my goodness, this has been absolutely fabulous. Loved it. And we've never gone rock climbing. We've never done any of this before, so this is fantastic.
Yeah, this is a fun one. So what happens on this rappel is that it's slightly overhanging.
Okay.
So if you find yourself just hanging in midair, just go down. But to avoid hanging in midair, you can just kick away lightly from the wall. And that'll kind of keep you from spiraling down. All right, so right hand down to your hip. There you go. Very good. Okay, you're all set. You have a belayer, Dean, or a repeller.
Belay on?
George is our guide today. His instruction and encouragement helps us rappel off of this 180-foot cliff. The knot in your stomach as you take that first step is hard to swallow. Don't look down, Hannah.
Just gonna walk.
Yeah, and then lean back.
Okay.
Lean back now.
Oh, God.
I've done like small hikes before, but nothing like, I've never done anything like this, and I've always been scared. I have like a small fear of heights, nothing to his extent, but I've never like been good at rock climbing or anything like that, so I thought it'd be cool to try something like this.
Very nice, Hannah.
It wasn't bad, I was so excited. That was awesome. This one was the big build-up, I liked it a lot.
How are your nerves on that first
The first one, terrible. And it was awful, but once you get used to it, it's fun. You want to do more.
A lot of people just don't have the skill sets, you know. Probably 80% of our clients never been on a rope, so, you know, it's a good idea they hire a guide.
Lots of squeals, I imagine.
Oh yeah, and a few people crying, but the most part, they really have fun. There's not been one person we haven't gotten down a canyon yet. So, and that's from a 4-year-old all the way to like an 83-year-old.
Boy, there's nothing like hanging off the rope, trusting your gear and trusting your guides that they're going to make you safe. And these guys definitely make you feel safe. Hey, coming up on KSL Outdoors, more. They're not just canyoneers. They do a lot more down here in southern Utah. We'll have that in just a second. But first, tonight's quiz question. Flowing leisurely out of Zion National Park past the city of St. George and eventually emptying into the Colorado River, the Virgin River is thought to have been named after Thomas Virgin, a member of the 1827 Jedediah Smith Party. However, some believe it was named La Virgin by Spanish Catholic missionaries in honor of the Virgin Mary. Our climate quiz question tonight is, what special designation did the Virgin River get in 2009 during the centennial celebration of Zion National Park? Once you know the answer, log on to our KSL Outdoors Facebook page, give us the correct answer. We'll then randomly select and announce a winner on our page the following week. The winner, set to walk away with a Climate Static V sleeping pad. Climate, comfortable, rugged, and lightweight. KSL Outdoors, powered by Ford. We'll be right back to southern Utah.
KSL Outdoors is also brought to you by Smith & Edwards, Fish Tech Outfitters, Utah State Parks, Burt Brothers, Climate, King's Camo, and Camp Chef.
This isn't your cup of tea.
Oh, this is really not my cup of tea. I have a fear of heights out here, so this is going to be a challenge for me.
Free hanging off a cliff is something everyone should try once in their life. It's a thrill like none other. But this is a first for Jag. He's a bit nervous, and who could blame him?
And then just keep leaning back and relax your grip. Let that rope slide through. Dean's got you good down there. Very good. Focus on keeping those feet flat on the wall. Excellent work.
Before he's like, no, maybe I'll just walk down. Like all right, then. Like, sounds good.
This isn't necessarily a natural thing we're doing.
Yeah.
So then we're sort of installing the rappelling app into our brains right now and make ourselves feel comfortable about these ropes holding 6,000 pounds, this equipment holding several thousand pounds. And then just through a little practice, our brain gets used to that. Because our brains are actually naturally afraid of heights for obvious reasons.
This is extreme outdoors, yeah, but a good time. It was a lot of fun.
Admittedly, you were a little bit nervous.
Without a doubt, and you know, I'll admit to my daughter who's standing here that I am afraid of heights, and for me it was a challenge to do the rappelling, but it's something I think I conquered that fear to some extent today. I did about 7 different rappels, right? And I think they all went pretty good. Still here in one piece. Just a couple of scratches here and there, but it was very good.
Generally, it's the head of the household that's the most nervous out here because I think they've got a lot of responsibility on their shoulders.
But they're in good hands.
But they're in good hands. They're in my hands.
We get into rappels, you know, over a couple hundred feet on some of the canyons, and you know, we do as moderate where you're just simply hiking. So, you know, we got the wide range of what people want to see.
Test your limits if you want.
Exactly.
So what happens is water's pouring over like this and it gets little pebbles. That'll just go round and round in a circle like that. And that's how it makes them that's what makes it deep, and things get caught in there. I've seen bighorn get caught in these things and they can't come back out. And humans get caught in there sometimes too.
Called a keeper.
Keeper hole.
Keeper hole. Zion Rock and Mountain Guides can get you wet, take you on a hike for a half a day, even up to 3 days. Where on their advanced course, you'll have multiple station rappels and ascents, learn about anchor construction, bolt placement, contingency anchors, everything to keep you safe.
So we got everybody on belay right here. Because a lot of little kids, when they get scared, they'll let go of the whole system and grab the rope up like that. We've had situations where people get their hair caught in their device and then we're able to untie this knot right here and then just lower them down to the ground. So we gotta have 100% control the whole time.
I think he showed us the maneuvers, you know, he gave us a fair amount of instruction before we started. And then took us through the subsequent steps in the dry run before he actually let us loose. And then he was there throughout the course. At every point in time when I needed a little bit of help, he was there.
George was great. You've got to trust George, trust the equipment like you said, and then just go for it, and it was awesome.
I'm not afraid of heights at all, so this was all just, it was so cool doing everything, and like, I liked the dangling part, the free falls, because you kind of just get to hang there and just look around you. It's so interesting. There really aren't words for what we just saw today. It was just the perfect weather, and just like I've never seen anything like it before. It's just amazing.
You've only been here one day.
Yeah, and it's just already blown my mind, and it's just I've never seen anything like it.
Got rappelling? Piece of cake. A lot of fun out here. You know, if you ever want to bring your family down, go ahead and just look the guys up. They got some really cool opportunity down here in southern Utah. We'll put the web address right there on the screen. Hey, let's head back to Salt Lake now to the guys at Fish Tech for tonight's fishing report.
Hi, I'm Mickey Anderson from Fish Tech, the unofficial record holder of goldfish on a fly. If you don't really care about goldfish and you want to catch something a little bit bigger but with the same family, try carp on a fly rod. There's nothing like it, but you need some different gear. The first thing you're going to need is a bigger rod. This is a rod big enough to land salmon or steelhead. Next thing you need is a big net. You've got to be able to scoop them up and get them off of there. You've got to find the right fish. The right fish is a fish that's feeding, not a fish that's cruising. You can tell that they're feeding because they're going to be rooting around in the bottom or mudding. They're going to be stirring up the mud or digging their nose down into the moss. You want to throw to the side of it. They spook so easy just from the cast. Let your fly sink and bring it into them as it's sinking and drop it right by one eye. Make them turn on it. And a lot of times they'll eat it. Now the eat is such a tiny take. All it's going to do is just barely wiggle your line. So I'm going to use a tiny indicator like this, or cut one of these in half and pinch it around my line. Then you want to strip strike. You do not want to lift the rod, just give it a little strip strike. Now the flies that you want to use are a little different too. They can be colorful, or they can imitate something on the bottom. They're rooting around looking for midges, leeches, or you can go with some of these brighter colors. Carp on a fly rod, what a great fish. Hey, if you want help catching carp on your fly rod or any other fish, come on down to Fish Tech, we'll help you out. Now for tonight's fishing line.
Welcome back to KSL Outdoors. I'm Adam Eakle, back here along the Virgin River just outside of the town of Virgin. You know, Zion Rock and Mountain Guides offers much more than just extreme canyoneering. How about hitting the trail on 2 wheels or even 4?
How many miles out here can you ride?
Yeah, you can drive hundreds.
Really?
Yeah, there's so much Jeep touring that can be done. You know, basically we got dirt roads that head all the way to the Grand Canyon.
Dean started Jeep tours about 5 years ago. He says people are always looking for a different experience, a different angle of Zion's.
Moab is kind of considered the place to go jeeping, but you're saying there's a lot of country to cover here.
Oh, we got a lot of country. Just look behind me and everywhere around us. We got, you know, high country Jeep tours that take you up into the mountains. You know, Jeep tours that take you to the east side of the park, to the west side of the park. You know, some that range from 3 hours to 8 hours, so we have a lot of options. We'll do open Jeep tours up to Bryce, you know, and a lot of people enjoy that, taking the top down and just driving up to Bryce and getting a tour up there. Our tours are somewhat interpretive, as whereas the guides give them information about the history of the area, you know, the pioneers, the geology, you know, different aspects about southern Utah.
And wow, what beautiful scenery here. You know, people, like you said, people can't see this from the main highway, so this is just a great overlook.
And it's a different perspective of Zion, you know, a lot different than what you're going to see when you're in the main canyon or down, you know, in some of the more tourist areas.
Jeep tours run from $75 per person up to about $180, depending on how long your tour is. Zion Rock and Mountain Guides can take you to some spectacular overlooks. A perfect place to take a picture or just watch the sunset. And if you're looking for something a bit cheaper, say maybe combine your vacation with a workout, How about taking a ride on two wheels?
Oh yeah, we have great biking. You know, we have single track, we have slick rock. You know, most of it's within a 20 to 30 minute drive from here. If you head a little bit out of town, head towards Virgin, we have a lot of single track out there, the Virgin Rim, the Hurricane Rim, Gold Swash trails. If you head up on the Mesa, you got Gooseberry. And then we even got a lot of downhill riding, and that's become super popular around here. We got comfort bikes to ride up in the canyon. You know, it's like probably a 2-hour ride up if you take your time. You know, you can lock your bikes up, go for a little hike, spend the day up there. It's a better way of seeing the park than riding around in a shuttle bus.
Riding a mountain bike or a comfort bike is by far the most personal way to experience the Zion area.
You could spend, you know, 4 or 5 days and stay just in Zion area and entertain yourself. You know, between hiking, canyoneering, rock climbing, you know, mountain biking.
It's all here.
It's all here.
Time now to check out this week's Utah Field Guide as we get you ready for some fall fishing up at the Berry. September can be one of the best months to fish Strawberry Reservoir. You know, as fall approaches and the weather cools, the surface waters of Strawberry cool as well and create a current in the lake that brings from the deep such things as algae and big fish. Among avid berry anglers, it's called the Strawberry Turnover. Big trout will cruise just beneath the surface looking for their favorite food at this time of year, minnows. Turnover usually occurs mid-September through the end of October. In the meantime, you still have time to get up and try and catch a tagged fish in the Strawberry Bay Tagged Fishing Contest. Over 300 rainbows have been tagged and a few have already been caught, but there is still a fish swimming in the Berry that, if caught, will win the angler this nice boat, trailer, and motor. There's also a chance to catch a fish that will net the lucky angler, this nice four-wheeler from Carl Malone Power Sports and the One Stop up in Heber. Plus, there are other grand prizes still on the line, so get up to Strawberry, fish, and catch a prize. We'll have a closing ceremony to award all the prizes in October. For more information on the Strawberry Tagged Fishing Contest, check out some of the past stories we've done on our website at ksltv.com.
Boy, probably 70, 80 degrees down in St. George. Boy, here in Water Canyon, probably a nice 60, 65 degrees. Perfect hiking weather. Let's find out how it is back home by turning it over to the guys and gals in the weather department.
Welcome back to KSL Outdoors. You know, the pheasant hunt may be 2 months away, but it doesn't mean you can't start getting excited for one of Utah's most popular upland game hunts. On September 13th, the Great Salt Lake Pheasants Forever will be holding their annual banquet over at Gardner Village. All the money raised that night will stay right here in Utah for habitat projects and other youth opportunities. For more information on the banquet, check out their website at greatslpf.org.
Well, there are snapshots everywhere, right, Jag?
You bet.
Look at that. The family walking down here in the bottom of Water Canyon. A beautiful sight. And don't forget, when you're out with your family, your friends, make sure to take a few pictures like Jag's doing here. Submit them to our contest. Now, here it is, the best of the week, our snapshot of the week.
We kick it off with a hike and a big bull. Rick loves to hike the Wasatch Mountains and frequently sees moose on his outings, but this bull, Rick says, is the biggest he's ever seen. The bull posed for pictures as Rick snapped away. Jordan and his brother caught our Arctic grayling episode a few weeks back and decided to give it a go. Jordan says it took a while to crack the code, but once they did, the fishing was hot. Both brothers were shocked to see a colorful fish and realized why these fish can be so addicting. Matt Eggers shows off the new state catch and release record for carp. This 38.5-inch monster. Matt says they were fishing for walleye at starvation when the big fish hit. They measured the fish, took a few pictures, and let him go, only to realize the catch and keep record was 32 pounds, and Matt was pretty sure this fish tipped the scales a bit more than that. Next time, Matt says he'll look up a record before releasing any more big fish. Craig had a pretty unusual guest in the tree outside of his office, this porcupine. He says the critter remained in the tree until well after closing time, providing a great opportunity for all the employees to grab their kids to come and see a porcupine up close. But our winner tonight shows it's all about the timing. Jordan was out with some family on Antelope Island. As they were driving to the Fielding Gar Ranch, they spotted these 3 bucks and were able to get some shots from afar. Jordan thought he'd drive a bit closer and see what could happen, and it's a good thing he did, as he got some even better shots of these nice bucks. You know, Jordan, the island is a special place, and now those cool bucks have garnered you our special prize, as you just won our Snapshot of the Week. Remember, submit your pictures or video plus an explanation of your latest outdoor adventures online at ksltv.com. The winner each week wins the multi-fuel Striker stove in King's Camo. Great for a cart camp or to take on the hunt. Plus, the winner is also entered into our Ford Trucks quarterly Facebook giveaway for a Camp Chef pellet grill.
From the backcountry to your back patio, Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors.
Well, Dean, George, everybody made it out alive. A lot of fun, smiles around, a few scrapes and bumps.
Great day.
Hey, one more time, if people want to find out when they want to come down and do a trip with you guys, what's your website?
ZionRockGuides.com.
Get out here and experience a piece of Zion just outside of Zion.
Yep. It's a great place to spend your weekend.
I'm Adam Eakle for KSL Outdoors, reminding you to get out with your family and your friends and make some memories outdoors. We'll see you next weekend. Good night.